Welcome into this live edition of Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Trace Gerard is here with me as well. We'll bring him in coming up in just a few moments. On today's show, we have the latest Seattle Seahawks news and rumors. We're going to talk about the possibility of Seattle signing Melvin Ingram. We'll show you what one media outlet had to say, suggesting the Seahawks make the move to bring in Ingram. Also, we'll talk about contract extensions for both Uchenna and Nwosu, as well as Jordyn Brooks. And we'll take a look at the 53-man roster projection for your Seahawks after OTAs, as well as not one, but two Q&A mailbags today. Use the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the mailbags coming up later on. Where are you at? This is our build-up portion of the show. We encourage you to get in the chat and let your voice be heard, and we'll shout you out as you guys pile in here and get this show started. As I see Corey Davis is in here, says, let's go Seahawks. Good to see my Seahawk baby. I don't even want to know what that means. Thanks, Tyler. Corey, appreciate the love there. Also, I see Ilona also checking in on the show, Tyler. Good to see you again. Always good to see you. Ilona, one of the loyal watchers in the chat. Shout out your county and let us know where you're at. Trace Gerard in the house with us here on this Wednesday afternoon as we enjoy happy hour together. And Trizzy, always a pleasure, my friend. Anytime you and I get to work together. We've been working together a lot more lately.
Oh, yeah.
We're always having a good time.
Hey, one thing you can count on is a good time every time. When we're on the ones and twos, when my man TJ's got his game he's spitting, you know we're bringing the heat. You know what we do out here. Come on.
Right. Ilona checking in from Seattle. I got Ken in Grays Harbor. I got Mr. 187 Forever. 12s make the world go round. Around, around. You spin me round and round. Great song.
Great song.
Let's see. What else we got here? Carlos. I don't even know how to pronounce that.
Guadalajara.
Very good. Very good, Trace. Nice effort there. Who else we got checking in from their county? Trace, you are, congrats to you, by the way. We're just about to be neighbors, practically.
We are.
In Dallas County.
I'm going from Tarrant County in Fort Worth to Dallas County, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Trace is about to move down the street from me here in the next couple days.
Yep.
And we're going to be not only just in the same county, but also pretty much neighbors at this point. And so we're going to basically just tear up Dallas County.
It's going to be, Dallas County is going to be everyone else's problem. We're going to be having a good time, but it's going to be everyone else's issue. And also, by the way, because I am moving, if you want to help me out with my move, send a super chat. Help me out, why not? Because I got some movers, I got some furniture and stuff.
The super chats today go to the Move Trace to Dallas Fund. Put it that way. Eric says, go Seahawks. I got, Ilona says, let's go 12s. Michael says, thank you for all your up-to-date info. You guys are awesome. Michael, you are awesome. Corey, last time I checked, Ohio is not a county, but thanks for at least being here, Corey. Let's go Seahawks. I agree. What is your county that you're in? T-Dub says if we get anyone, we need Yannick Ngakoue. We'll be talking about Melvin Ingram coming up later on. Eric is in Grays Harbor, Washington. Thanks for being here with us, Eric, and checking in from Grays Harbor there. Ken also in Grays Harbor as well. So Grays Harbor representing in the chat so far to this point. As you guys file in, tell us what county you're at, and we'll shout you out on the show. Ilona says this season is going to be amazing for our Seahawks in the 12th. So let's go Seahawks. Bodie, hate to break it to you, but DFW, not a county.
DFW is a metroplex.
Nice try, but
close, but no cigar.
Right. A little more work there. Peter's got the right idea. Fairfax County in Virginia. Thank you, Peter, for that. I got Mr. 187 Forever in L.A. County, but Seahawks all day.
You're in enemy territory.
Goondocks in Clattstop. I got Corey in Belmont County. Says, my bad. Don't worry about it, Corey. TBS Dub in Pierce County. Thanks for being here, everybody. A little pop quiz time as we get this show on the road. A little competition. Let's see who can be the early favorite for the MVP today. How many Seahawk running backs all time can you name? Trace and I are not going to give any hints because we want this to be a real test out there. and see how many you guys can get. Who can name the most Seahawk running backs ever? And we'll put it this way, Trace. As long as they've been on the active roster at some point in time,
Okay.
they will count towards what we're looking at of just trying to name as many Seahawk running backs as you can. Who can name the most Seahawk running backs? You will be an early favorite to be the MVP on today's show. As we have other ones checking in. Ilona says, I like today's video. Thank you for that. Max in Clark County, John in Pierce County. I got Jared in Miami County, also Ohio. Bodie is in Rockwell County. I got Michael in Spokane County, and T-Dubs in Pierce County. Who can name the most Seahawk running backs of all time? A little challenge out there. Let's see who's got the most that they can potentially put together here. Waiting to see who's going to have the first answer to name the most Seahawk running backs and do a little competition here to see. I could tell already just by the pause between
People
us
are
asking
typing.
this question.
They're typing.
People are typing and they're thinking.
I had to put on your thinking cap for this one because there's a lot. There's a lot of running backs out
Right.
there. A lot of good ones too.
The only stipulation we're saying is they had to have been on the active roster at some point. Ilona says Kenneth Walker. Well, that's one.
Yeah.
There's more out there, Ilona.
We'll claim one.
Dustin's got a few. Here we go. Broussard, Ricky Waters, Sean Alexander.
Sean Alexander's a stud.
Pablo names Caleb Williams. So Dustin's got the lead so far. He named 3. Who can name more than Dustin? I know you guys can do better than 3. I mean, we're talking about all time, not just recently, but how many more can you name all time? Mr. 817 Forever said Beast Mode is the greatest running back of all time. Well, again, that's just one. Here we go. Now we're getting some action here. T-Dub says Alexander, Lynch, Washington, Penny, Carson, Walker, and Waters. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 for T-Dubs. Peter's got Sean Alexander, Marshawn Lynch, Kenneth Walker, Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, Kurt Warner, Travis Homer, DJ Dallas, Chris Warner, Max Strong, Ricky Waters. That's 11 for Peter. Peter's the early favorite so far. Let's see. What else do we have here? John says Kurt Warner, John Williams, Dan Donrick. So John's got 3 there. So Peter is the number to beat, 11. Can anyone name more than 11 Seahawk running backs all time? Peter, the early favorite so far. Good start for Peter.
I guess Peter's the king of the 12s right now.
King of the 12.
That's what it is. Unless Bodie.
Let's see how many Bodie got. Marshawn, Sean, Kenneth Walker, Ricky Waters, Adrian Peters.
Good one. That's a good one.
Kurt Warner, Chris Carson, Max Strong, DJ Dallas, Rashad Penny. That's 10.
Oh.
Bodie, the number to
Bodie,
beat's 11 right now.
If you throw a couple more out there.
There's some obvious names still missing that no one's named yet that are even on the active roster right now, folks. Got some names out there still. Paul says John L. Williams. Okay. The number to beat is 11. Who can name more than 11? I'm going to do this for about another minute here before we move on to our next weigh-in here on the show. Pablo says, let's go, Peter. Let's see who can beat, if anyone can beat 11 so far. I'm telling you, there's some obvious names out there that you all are missing. We're not giving you any hints because we want to see who can add to this. T-Dubs just mentioned another one. Zach Charbonnet. Hadn't mentioned him yet. Ilona says, Kenneth Walker made me happy. I'm very happy we got Zach Charbonnet and Kenny McIntosh. Bodie says Edgerrin James. Robert says Robert Turbin. Okay, so we got some good answers. Good work from the crew. Shout out to Peter, the early favorite to be the MVP, the king of the 12 so far, with 11 names that he was able to come up with so far at this point. The Summer Jones continues this weekend. Trace, I'm off to Nashville.
Boom.
Maybe my favorite city in the country to travel to. 2 more names from Peter, by the way. Robert Turbin, Carlos Hyde. That puts that number at 13.
Good one.
Good work, Peter. I'm headed to Nashville this weekend.
Yeah.
Going to have a hell of a time. It's going to be a party. Broadway isn't ready for me.
Nope.
You got a wedding this weekend, and you are going to go all out, balls to the walls,
Yeah,
right?
so this wedding is for one of my fraternity brothers, so we're going to
boy.
It's going to be a good old time with some good old boys out in Arkansas, gotta say. It's going to be a good time. I'm looking forward to it. But it's nothing compared to Nashville. Nothing compared to Nashville.
Man, there's something about that place. Every time I go to Nashville at least once every year. At least once every year. and it gets somehow that city gets better each and every time. How are you enjoying your summer of Jones? Where will your summer vacation be taking you? Maybe it's a weekend getaway. Maybe you're off work for a week or two. What are you doing for your summer plans? Tell us in the chat. We'd love to hear from you guys. And give me some recommendation. What do I need to be doing when I head to Nashville this weekend? I want to hear from you guys. I'm sure we got some travelers in here that enjoyed themselves. Still some more guesses coming in on the running backs, by the way. Caleb got up to 12 was the number he reached. Good work there, Caleb. The winner so far is Peter with that 13. But where are you guys going for your summer vacation? Are you staying home in Seattle or are you going somewhere else? Tell us in the chat what your summer vacation plans are. Summer, best time of year. Personally, I enjoy myself and have a good time. And you can follow along the Summer of Jones all summer long on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. That's where you can find me there. Bodie says he's got 15 names. Good work from Bodie on that front. So, Trace, you're going to be doing some damage at this wedding. I look forward to the report back.
So, I'm looking forward to reporting back. You already know how it goes when I'm out of town. I love to drop pictures. I love to drop videos of me doing just dumb things with my homies. So, there's going to be some good content. I'm going to be sending Tyler some funny stuff, I got to say. It's going to be a good time.
I don't know if we're Snapchat friends or not, but I think we need to update each other all weekend.
Oh, for sure. Because we should keep a tally. Let's keep a tally. How many beers we consume.
That's a great call.
We should just see how many beers do you think Tyler and I will consume combined?
There's your question. Trace going to a wedding in Arkansas.
I'm going to update this.
So, in case you're just joining us, we're talking summer plans, summer vacation this weekend. Trace is going to Arkansas, where he went to college, to a college buddy's wedding. And I'm going to Nashville, and Nashville is one of my favorite cities in the world and one of my favorite places to travel, and it's going down. And so we want to know, how many beers will Trace and I consume this weekend?
It's going to be a lot.
It is going to be a lot, and the goal should be, Trace, to walk into airport security either still buzzed Monday morning or be very hungover, one to two.
Yes. See, I wouldn't even put triple digits out of the question, unfortunately. I really can't say that triple digits can be counted out.
Ilona says she's going to Canada, so that sounds like a lot of fun. John going to Eastern Washington. Eastern Washington, very scenic. Arizona, great for summer vacation. How about this from Wayne? Just got back from Eastern Europe.
Ooh.
Czech Republic, Poland, Slovakia, Croatia, Slovenia. Been offline for a month.
That's cool.
Wayne, you have had yourself quite the time. I have never been to Europe. That's on my list.
I haven't either. It's a big bucket list item of mine.
Okay, Wayne says over under 98 beers. Dustin says 3 cases of beer and 3 bottles of liquor.
That feels like an accurate one as well.
That does. So I have some Jack Daniels that's just sitting on my counter. Mm-hmm. I think I just need to take it with me just so it gets consumed faster.
For sure.
I don't like to drink at home, so it just sits there.
Yeah.
This might be a good time.
I got same kind of thing. I got a bottle of 4 Roses that feels like it's time to about polish off.
Time to go. I like that from Dustin. 3 cases of beer and 3 bottles of liquor. We're going to get the show started officially in just a few moments, but I want the 12s to get rowdy in the comments section. Spam S in the chat if you are a diehard Seahawks fan, if you love the Seahawks. We're going to see how many S's we can get in the chat in this next minute. We're going to go ahead and get this thing started. Spam the S's right now. And I'm going to shout out everybody that spams S, and let's see how fast this thing can go.
Also, I'm going to put a timer on. Let's see who's the MVP. Who wants to be the MVP?
Here we go.
Comment MVP. You guys got to get it going now.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go! And they're off.
Wayne.
Ilona, Robert, Wayne, Dustin. Come on, keep up the pace, guys. Max, Dustin, Wayne, Ilona. Pick up the pace, everybody. Faster. Who is going to be the early MVP on today's show? Wayne is off to a good start already. Show me those S's. Kenny, Ilona, Wayne. A little faster, guys. Let's keep that tempo up. How fast can we get that chat rate going here? Kenny, Ilona, Billy, Kenny, Wayne, Ilona, Max,
Come on,
Billy,
12s.
Jay
Come
Hopkins,
on, 12s.
Wayne, Billy, Kenny, Billy. Kenny and Billy getting in the chat, making it
Come
up.
on,
Wayne,
12s.
Kenny, Robert, there we go. Jared, Robert, Billy, Ilona, Jared, Kenny, Billy, Max, Ilona, Max, Billy, Dustin. How much time is left? About 30 seconds?
30 seconds. Come on.
30 seconds to go. Keep it up. Faster.
Keep them coming.
Faster.
Keep them going. Keep them
Max,
going.
Dustin,
Keep them going.
Ilona, Kenny, Billy, Jared, Dustin, Ilona, Max, Wayne, Dustin, Billy, Wayne, Max, Dustin, Robert, Billy, Ilona, Billy, Dustin, Kenny, Wayne, Max,
5,
Dustin,
4,
Kenny, Ilona,
3,
Jay Hopkins,
2,
Wayne,
1.
Kenny. Good work, everybody. Good work. I think the early winner there was Wayne.
I think so. Wayne was just peppering the chat.
Wayne came back from Europe with a bang.
That's what Wayne did.
Nice work in the chat, everybody.
Good job, everyone. Good job, everyone.
Should we show them the super chat menu?
We should show them the super chat.
Here is what we're going to do today. Okay? So we changed up the super chat menu this week. I forgot to grab the bean boozled. We'll need somebody to grab the beans. Any super chat equals a shout out. $5 will sing the DK song. $7 will take a Geno shot. These were created when Geno signed his big contract, and we've been partying ever since.
Oh, yeah.
Start the party early for Trace and I as we enjoy our Summer of Jones this weekend. Let's get the shots already started. $7 will take a shot. $10 will be Bean Boozled, which is where we draw a bean and we don't know what it tastes like. Could be awful, could be delicious. It's anyone's guess. And the ones that are bad, they are very, very bad. And then for $20, we're going to debut a brand new Super Chat item here today. It's called the Word Game. And here's how the Word Game works, folks. You get to choose any word within reason, appropriate. We'll put it that way. And I have to find a way to work it into one of the segments of today's show, the next segment that follows. So we get the news and rumors segment coming up in a bit. If you choose, let's say, the word octopus, then I got to find a way in our news and rumors segment to use the word octopus. It all happens in real time. So that's how the Word Game works. For $20, you get to pick any word, and I got to find a way to work it in the show. So something a little bit different. We'll try and see if it works.
Think about it this way. You get to pretty much write the show, in a sense. You get to write part of the show. So
right.
You get to be, you get to be Chat Sports Real One with us. So just, give us a fun word to throw into the script, and we'll get it in there.
Right.
It'll be fun. It'll be a good time.
So we'll see who sends in the first Super Chat today and turn this thing into party. Dustin!
Bang!
$20 for the Word Game. Dustin, give me your word, because I don't see it in the chat box. Give me the word you want me to use, and I will work it in the news and rumors segment. Let me know what that word is, Dustin. The word is real. I get
real.
It's easy. Easy. You count it, consider it done. I will work in the word real, no problem, into the news and rumors segment.
For
the real ones out there.
Yeah, we'll get it in there. That's without a doubt.
Dustin, let me know for sure the word is real, and if that's the case, we'll work that into the news and rumors segment and get this show started. How about that right away? Dustin, by the way, also, the Boot Hall of Fame's an option. $100 gets you a spot. Dustin's already $20 in. That means he's $80 away from a spot in the Boot Hall of Fame. Everybody that sends in $100, you get the spot in the Boot Hall of Fame. Now, we don't have any high dollar amounts today, but if this show gets crazy, then we can start negotiating.
We'll get it moving.
Might be some beer bongs, might be some beer boots in the future, but let's work our way there first. But a good start already with that $20 from Dustin. I'll work in the word real. If you have any other words specific that you want in the show, send in a $20 super chat, and I will work it into the segment. I'll find a way one way or the other. Ask us anything. Our mailbags that we'll do today. Use hashtag Seahawks or super chat to get on the show. Yoda23 wants a bean shot. So if somebody can grab the beans,
I'll go grab them.
then we will do our first bean shot of the day and see how this goes. Yoda23, thanks for the $10 super chat. Yoda and Dustin, they want to party. They want to have themselves a good time today. And I like this, that we're getting the party started without me having to drink too much just yet. That could change, and we could go wild. But for now, I am going to eat this bean that I don't know if it's going to taste good or bad. And then I got to work in the word real into our next segment. So here they are, Bean Boozled, the moment of truth. Let's see how bad these beans are or how good they are. Trash can is ready to go. Here's the trash can just in case. Here we go. All right. I've picked it out. It is blue. So it is either toothpaste or berry blue. Let's find out.
Those are good ones.
One bite, everyone knows the rules, Yoda. Here we go. Oh, that's toothpaste.
Toothpaste?
Ugh. Gross.
Grody!
Last week, I had an incredible luck. I got like 4 or 5 in a row that were fine.
It was insane. I got all the bad ones. It was ridiculous.
This week, not so much.
No, we're starting
We're 0-1 already. That was disgusting. Yeah. Toothpaste. You know, I brush my teeth twice a day, and it's not one of those deals where it's by choice because I enjoy the taste of toothpaste. It's because it's what I should do.
You got to do it. You
Right.
got to brush your teeth and all that.
Colgate Smile, says Yoda. There you go. There's that Colgate Smile. So, all right. So I'm going to work the word real into our news and rumors segment from our $20 super chat that came in. And you'll see, Dustin, be listening very carefully. And I'll find a way to work that in. 26 likes. I got 44 people watching right now. If you're ready for this show to start, like the video. Let's get to 30 likes and get this show started. And I'll take a drink. Let's enjoy ourselves. Have a good day here on this Wednesday. What better way to be enjoying the afternoon, Trace, than hanging out with the 12s here, middle of the week, hump day and everything, happy hour.
Can't think of a better way.
Let's enjoy ourselves. Hell.
This is
Cheers.
this is the spot you want to be hanging out. I promise you.
It
Best
is.
stream on YouTube right now.
All right, here we go. It is time for our first segment of the afternoon. Our news and rumors coming up next. Got our live Q&A rumors mailbags on tap as well. Use the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on those mailbags. And we'll do a 53-man roster projection after OTAs coming up in a moment as well. Super Chat battle going on today, taking on the 49ers report and the Cowboys report. Already up to a good start, $30 so far. Let's see if we can top 49ers and Cowboys and own the NFC today. Niners got 125 this week. Cowboys got 152. We'll see how we can do to keep pace with those guys and hold our own the Super Chat battle today. Excuse me. All right. With that, without further ado, let's start with the news and rumors segment. And I will work the word real in somehow to this news and rumors segment. Won't be hard. Watch me and you'll see in real time. Here we go, folks. Let's have ourselves a day. Welcome in to Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks to all the real ones for joining us here on today's show as we catch up to speed on the latest happenings with your Seattle Seahawks. We'll talk about the possibility of signing Melvin Ingram in NFL free agency. Also, extensions could be on the horizon very soon for Uchenna Nwosu as well as Jordyn Brooks. We'll tell you what's going on with both those guys and get you some analysis from some of the experts across the National Football League in just a matter of moments. Before we get to that, though, folks, we are on track to reach 38,500 subscribers on the channel. Less than 200 away from getting there, but we need your help to reach that milestone. Subscribe now for daily news and rumors segments, live shows on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, as well as our mailbags, watch parties during the season as well. If you're a diehard Seahawks fan, then the only way you can prove it is by subscribing to the channel. Subscribe now for free. You'll be glad you did. Melvin Ingram is still available at this point in NFL free agency. A surprise, I think, to some. especially among the market of edge rushers. There's still a decent number of good guys just sitting out there at this point, and he is one of them. Heavy.com is suggesting that the Seahawks sign Melvin Ingram in free agency and add him to the rotation to the Seahawks front seven. Here's more from Jonathan Adams. If there is one area for the Seattle Seahawks to address ahead of training camp, it is improving the team's pass rush. The good news is there are several veteran free agents who remain available. One name to watch is three-time Pro Bowler Melvin Ingram. According to Spotrac, the Seahawks have a projected $8.6 million in remaining cap space. This is enough for Seattle to sign Ingram and potentially make another addition heading into training camp. Ingram could be a solid rotational pass rusher for the Seahawks despite being 34 years old. I continue to be amazed at how undervalued Melvin Ingram has been throughout his career. And we're talking about, in this case, him being a rotational piece, okay, where the Seahawks would have some depth at that position. You still have young guys that are developing, obviously, but he would be one to watch that could provide some depth and some relief, barring injury, and be a natural fit. And he's been successful about everywhere he's played and been a very good player. I'm surprised that he's continued to be looked over throughout his career in the different places he's been. I think most recently of the impact he had on the Kansas City Chiefs a couple years ago when they got to the Super Bowl and what he was able to do with that defense. So for me, why not? He's not going to cost you that much at this point in time. He's going to add depth to your defense. To me, it's a win-win at this juncture in the ballgame to go ahead and get Melvin Ingram. Why not? There are more good reasons than bad as far as I'm concerned with why you should bring him in. So, you tell me. Weigh in the comments section. Should the Seahawks sign Melvin Ingram or not? Y for yes, in for no. And if your answer is no, I want a legit good reason why your answer is no. The money's not an issue. I don't want to hear that either, okay? The money's going to be fine, and he would be a rotational piece and provide depth. It's a win for me. Let me know in the comments section why you are for or against this idea. So the background story on Melvin Ingram. Previously played for the Miami Dolphins, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the Los Angeles Chargers. Three-time Pro Bowler from 2017 to 2019. And if you want to talk about consistency, think about this with Melvin Ingram. 6 different seasons in his career. He's had at least 6 sacks or more. Pretty decent, right? That's a good number of what he's been able to do throughout that stretch, including most recently this past year in 2022 with the Miami Dolphins. He had 22 tackles, 7 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, and 1 forced fumble. 2019 was probably the best season of his career. In 13 games played, he had 48 tackles, 12 tackles for loss, and 7 sacks, and no forced fumbles. The Seahawks right now, let's take a look at their front 7 where things stand at this point in time. A lot of excitement, obviously, for Draymond Jones of what he's going to bring to the table. Brian Monet, questions about his health status and obviously needing some help when it comes to the interior of the defensive line there. You brought in Jarran Reed, his return to Seattle, and he should be a guy that gets significant playing time right away. And then you go to the next core of guys, and Darrell Taylor, Uchenna Nwosu, a lot of excitement about what they'll bring to the table. Bobby Wagner, obviously signing him in free agency. But then Jordyn Brooks, questions about when he is going to be available. And obviously Devin Bush would step into that role if Jordyn Brooks can't give it a go. But I got to tell you, I like this group, but it can be better. There's still more work to be done as far as I'm concerned. It's an improvement from what it was, this front 7, comparably speaking to what it was last year, but they're not done yet. There's still more work to be done. We've heard Pete Carroll even say that they are not done with finding other options there for this group. Name a player the Seahawks should sign in NFL free agency. If it's not Melvin Ingram, then who is it? Tell me in the comments section who the Seahawks should sign. Give me one player that comes to mind that you would like to see in a Seahawks uniform in 2023. The Seahawks shirt and hat combination is back on sale for the 12s, and it's only available for a limited time. We don't offer this year-round, folks. Whether you want to wear the hat and give someone else the shirt or vice versa, maybe you want to keep both, whatever it may be, it's a great deal, and it's only available for a limited time for $23.99 at chatsports.com/12combo. If you are a real Seahawks fan, you got to take advantage of getting a combo like this in a sale that doesn't come around very often here. $23.99 for both the shirt and the hat. While supplies last. Chatsports.com/12combo to get yours today. Shirt and hat combo on sale now. $23.99 at chatsports.com/12combo. Let's talk about a couple different extension ideas now. Let's begin with Jordyn Brooks. As Bleacher Report says, the Seahawks don't need to wait around, that they need to get an extension for Jordyn Brooks done right now. Here's more from Christopher Knox. The Seahawks declined the fifth-year option on Brooks' contract, meaning he's scheduled to be a free agent in 2024. While Seattle clearly wasn't comfortable guaranteeing $12.8 million in 2024 to a somewhat one-dimensional defender, it should be willing to extend Brooks at a lower annual price. The 25-year-old showed that he could remain productive in defensive coordinator Clint Hurtt's 3-4 defense last season, and he's young enough to remain a key contributor for several years. The challenge would be paying Brooks to stay in free agency next year. I understand the logic where Christopher Knox from Bleacher Report is coming at here. Don't get me wrong. I get the argument that's being made, but I disagree. And here's why I disagree with this. The injury that Jordyn Brooks suffered there at the end of last year, and coming back from that, we don't know how he's going to recover, okay? And those ACL injuries, everybody recovers different. Some guys, it's like it never even happens, and they move on, and everything's good. Other guys, not so much. And I don't want to invest a long-term extension without knowing what Jordyn Brooks looks like when he's fully healthy. If I were John Schneider and Pete Carroll, would be willing to wait and see how the recovery process is for Jordyn Brooks if he's fully up to speed, and then if he can stay healthy after that before I would give him an extension. I'd be open to extending him, but I need to see what he looks like on the football field again first. To me, that's a bridge too far right now. I get where they're coming from, but I want to be ready for that decision right now. The play on the football field itself is not the issue at hand here. Okay? I mean, you're looking at a year in 2021 where he had 184 tackles. I know PFF doesn't like Jordyn Brooks, and, those numbers aren't very good for him, those grades-wise, but you can't ignore just the pure tackle numbers. 184 in 2021, 161 in 2022. He has been, I think, a foundational piece for this Seahawks defense and should be around for years to come. I know that he's not going to be the green dot anymore that goes back to Bobby Wagner and everything, but Jordyn Brooks, I would invest in. I would keep him for the long term, depending on how this season goes, his recovery there. So, should the Seahawks extend Jordyn Brooks right now? Is now the time to do it, or should you wait to figure that out? Write it in the comments section. Tell me what you think. E for extend, P for pass. Should the Seahawks extend Jordyn Brooks right now? Let me know what you think. E for extend, P for pass. Another extension candidate is Uchenna Nwosu, and ESPN's Phil Yates, front office insider, says that extending Uchenna Nwosu should be Seattle's top priority right now, above anything else going on this offseason as they get ready for training camp. Bigger than any signing or any trade they could make, the number one priority should be an extension for Nwosu. Here's more from Phil Yates. Nwosu was fantastic for the Seahawks in his first season in 2022, posting career highs across the board, including 9.5 sacks. With a comparable season this year, Nwosu would be positioned as one of the top free agent pass rushers next March, making extension a logical proposition. Well, Seattle has built up a deep list of rushers. That includes the addition of second-rounder Derek Hall this year. Nwosu is just more complete of the group and is just 26 years old. A side benefit of an extension would be a likely reduced cap charge for 2023. And the age thing I think is very important here. And Nwosu is just now entering the prime of his career. And this is the chance to capitalize on his said prime right now and get the most out of him as he goes about this. Coming off a very good year, he was a great addition to this team from the Los Angeles Chargers. You lock him up, keep him around for the next couple years. To me, it makes sense. This is something that should get done now. And when we talk about this Seahawks team, they're all in. They're investing for this team to be competitive this year. Every little bit of cap space helps. You get that extension now, open up that cap space, potentially bring in guys like we talked about, Melvin Ingram, still looking for help with the interior of the defensive line there. Every dollar helps that you can. It's a win-win, I think, if you give Nwosu that extension and help you out on that cap front for now. The numbers on Nwosu. We mentioned coming off a career season in 2022 with 9.5 sacks, 66 tackles. The year prior, in 17 games played, had 5 sacks, 1 interception, and 40 tackles. He is really coming into his own and should be a fantastic football player for the Seahawks this season. Pick one to extend. Let's say you only choose one or the other. Which one would you rather give a long-term contract to right now? Uchenna Nwosu or Jordyn Brooks? If it's Uchenna Nwosu, type U for Uchenna. If it's J for Jordyn Brooks, type J for Jordyn Brooks. Let me know which way or the other you're feeling if you had to pick one. U for Uchenna, J for Jordyn Brooks. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there. I'll see you next time right here on Seahawks Today. All right, one segment down. 3 more to go. Checking in on the chat. Pick one to extend, Uchenna Nwosu or Jordyn Brooks. I see Ilona says Uchenna would be the choice that she'd make. I know we had a super chat come in from the man himself. We'll get to that coming up in a moment. Got a mailbag on the way as well. Use hashtag Seahawks or super chat to be a part of our mailbag segment. Very curious what questions you guys have post OTAs. What you want to know came from OTAs or what this team looks like since OTAs concluded. Weigh in the comment section and send in your questions or super chat. We'll react to them. So far, the consensus, Trace, is Uchenna Nwosu over Jordyn Brooks. And I not only I think Uchenna is the better player, but just, I mean, it doesn't take a genius to look at one guy's healthy, the other isn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I mean, it makes too much sense. Like, you brought up some good points of Jordyn Brooks. You want to see what he has, not left in the tank, but what he still has to offer, because it is interesting. The Seahawks are in an interesting spot. They're competitive right now. They can go and win games and make some real noise in the NFC. So you got to be smart with how you're, moving the money and who you're extending and when you're doing that, so that way you can maximize the impact of these players.
Matthew says Uchenna. Peter says Uchenna. Ilona says, thank you, Tyler. This made my day the best. We are the 12s. That's right. Good. Thanks for checking in there. Wayne says Uchenna hands down. Plus, please stop the defensive end free agency rumors. We have enough 4-3 DNs. We need some D-tackle depth. Wayne, we don't control the rumors. We get the – I'm not trying to mansplain here, Wayne, but let me explain how news and rumors work at Chat Sports. We don't just make up rumors. People are talking. We tell you what people say. That's how it works here. Sorry to hate to break that to you, Wayne. We don't choose. The news comes to us. That's how it works. The man himself, time to get Bean Boozled again. $10 super chat. And while I draw, I'll answer the question as well. I think Jamal Adams should strictly have a free-roaming, follow-the-ball role 24/7, only following the quarterback and the ball. Well, now that you have Julian Love involved, you have some depth at safety, and you have the 3-high safety technique potentially if you want to. Mm-hmm. I think that makes a lot of sense. I would love to see Jamal Adams just kind of free roam. I think you'll like this, Trace. When I think of like free roam guys, Troy Polamalu got to pretty much do whatever he wanted and turned it into a Hall of Fame career.
Yeah.
Let Jamal Adams kind of just do whatever he wants.
Yeah. Let him cook.
Let him cook.
That's what they're saying.
All right. So the man himself, I pulled out a red jelly bean. This is either Old Bandage or pomegranate.
Oh, no.
We'll find out. I got the trash can ready if needed. Here we go.
What's it going to be?
Oh, that's Old Bandage.
Oh.
Oh, that's bad. Oh. That's nasty. There was some blood left over on that bandage or something. I might have a disease. I might need to get some workman's comp or something out of that one.
That's brutal.
Tasted kind of charcoal-y of sorts. Like, oh.
Weird. That's weird.
Somebody scraped their knee at the cookout,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Or you fell down on the pavement or something, and that's what they did.
David with a $5 super chat. That means we sing the DK song. Says Uchenna and Nwosu wants to keep Uchenna. Chompin', carols, chompin', Gino passes, no one stopping DK. Touchdowns all day, he rules. Thank you, David, for that $5 super chat. That puts us at $45 already. Any super chat equals a shout out. $5, we sing the DK song. $7, we do the Gino shot. $10, we get Bean Boozled. And $20, we do the word game, which means, in case you're just now joining us, the word game is you spend $20, and whatever word you give me, keep it somewhat appropriate to an extent, I have to work into the segment, the next segment. So this mailbag, you send in a $20 super chat. If you say the word
bamboozling,
bamboozled, onions. I got to find a way to say that in the show. Last word was real. That was easy. I worked it in a couple times. So we'll see if somebody comes through, if they want to send a $20 super chat and make me sound ridiculous. Peter says, how do you get Old Bandage on a bean? That's a great question. This is not a free ad, but folks, here's the real thing right here. It's from Jelly Bean, the company. Bean Boozled. And you can see for yourself. This is legit.
It's not good.
No.
It's not good.
It's an honest, true reaction that you're seeing. Wayne says karma from last week. That's true. I went like
Fair.
5 for 5. So far, I've started off 0 for 2. So, Wayne, you got a good point there. Mailbag time. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get your questions in. If you got a question for me, if you got a question for Trace, we'll answer it and do it in our mailbag segment. We'll bring you coming up next here on the channel. Trace, we all set? We good to go?
Well, we only have a couple questions. We need a few more. We do need a few more questions, to be 100% honest. So,
okay. Send in some more questions, guys.
You know, ask us about free agency, trades, the schedule this year.
Your super chats get to the front of the line. Your questions will be answered first, whatever you guys send in there. But send those in, and we'd love to hear from you guys, react to them as we get to this mailbag segment here in just a second. Let's see. Peter says, Tyler, you should do the spicy chip challenge. I think I'll leave that to Mitchell Renz.
I did that.
How bad was it?
So the worst part about it isn't eating it. It's 4 to 6 hours later. The aftermath is the worst part because it hurts your stomach. It hurts going down. And it hurts even worse going out. It's not great. It's not great. I mean, I was sweating like I was a Rams fan, it was bad. It was bad.
Sweating like a Rams fan. Yeah, that's good.
We need more questions, guys. Send your super chats or hashtag Seahawks, or those we can't do the segment.
Right, more questions. Hashtag Seahawks or a super chat to get your questions in for this mailbag. We'll be bringing you here in just a matter of moments. And if you think of questions while we're going on along the show, you can send those in with the hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat, either one. Super Chats get priority. They'll get answered first, but we need more questions from anybody. I'm seeing Wayne, Elona, Peter. Surely you guys got some questions. Send me your questions. I want to answer whatever you guys have coming up in this mailbag segment that we'll bring you here coming up on Seahawks Today. Trace, we all set? We good to go? All right. Here we go. Mailbag time here on the channel. Let's go ahead and get started. Mailbag time here on Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we will answer your Seahawks mailbag questions. OTAs are in the books. Where do the Seahawks go from here? What did we learn from OTAs? We'll answer all those questions and more coming up in just a matter of moments. Before we do, want you to subscribe to the channel. You may be sitting at home watching this video and saying, man, I would love to be a part of a mailbag segment. How do I get involved and be a part? Well, you're in luck. You, too, can join us for our mailbag segments on Wednesday afternoons, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. We take people's questions. They super chat us, or they use the hashtag Seahawks, and they get their questions in. And it's awesome. The super chats get the priority, but we'd love to hear from everybody on whatever they got for us. So join us and be a part of our mailbags that we do each and every week here on Seahawks Day. Hashtag Seahawks, super chat, subscribe, and make sure you're part of a mailbag here on the channel. First question, a $10 super chat from the man himself writing in. I think Jamal Adams should strictly have a free roaming, follow the ball role 24/7, only following the quarterback and the ball. So I was talking to producer Trace about this, and I said, remember a guy by the name of Troy Polamalu who went on to have a Hall of Fame career with the Pittsburgh Steelers? Troy Polamalu in the Steelers defense was literally allowed to do whatever he wanted. And most of the time that was going after the quarterback and being a disruptor, just a free-flowing guy, allowed to do whatever he wanted, okay? In the Seahawks case, you have Julian Love, who I think's a very good starter in this league, along with Quandre Diggs, who's a Pro Bowl safety in his own right. I say let Jamal Adams do that Troy Polamalu type role and let him do his thing. Let him be free-falling. I'm with you, the man himself. I know we've heard people talk about lining him up at linebacker or something like that, but to me, that makes a lot of sense for the Seahawks to let Jamal Adams kind of just do his thing and maximize him that way and let him be effective in that sense. I like your idea there, the man himself. Georgie writes, do you think our O-line got better? If so, how much? I think the O-line got significantly better. And let's start off by breaking this down piece by piece. So the tackle spot, I think, got better just by age, right? Charles Cross and Abraham Lucas should get better just with getting older. So that improves in their own right. Then the interior of the offensive line, Evan Brown, I don't think was a bad signing. I look at Olu, Anthony Bradford. Those guys, I think, are going to be development pieces, but they should be pretty decent players at some point in time. I think they'll both be very good here, and I like the future. It was good value picks. Sure, they didn't spend first and second round picks on the offensive line, but they still invested, and they found good, valuable players, and Olu's already competing to be a starter potentially to take that job away from Evan Brown at center. So watch out. I do think they got better. I would say they took a big step up as far as I'm concerned. Pete's Gum, juicy fruit, by the way. Who took the biggest step forward this offseason? I think it was Mike Jackson. We heard from Pete Carroll say that Mike Jackson was the MVP, not just of minicamp, but of OTAs as a whole for the Seattle Seahawks. And I saw the Chiefs on my TV, my monitor. They got distracted. For the Seattle Seahawks, we saw Mike Jackson, just be terrific of what he was able to do. And I got to tell you, just the reports that we saw coming out of camp, that he was challenged, right? This was a guy that was in a position where Devin Witherspoon was picked up. Tariq Woolen was coming off a Pro Bowl campaign. It looked like he was the odd man out when it came to the outside corner spot. And I don't know if he's going to start at outside corner or not, but he certainly made his case that he still deserves playing time, that he's still one of the best players on this defense, that he's even better than what he was last year. So for me, it was Mike Jackson who took that big step forward. Name a winner from Seahawks OTAs. Give me a player that comes to mind, whether it was Mike Jackson or somebody else. Weigh in the comment section. Tell me who a winner from OTAs was. Pacific Northwest with a $10 super chat. If you're watching the live version of this show, I will be eating a jelly bean for this one coming up later, and I don't know what it tastes like. Could be terrible. So stay tuned for that. Meanwhile, for the on-demand viewers, Pacific Northwest followed that up and asked about the nose tackle position. And the nose tackle position for Seattle is very interesting because Brian Mone, it's not looking good as far as his status of when he is going to be available and make his return for the Seahawks. May I introduce you to Mr. Young himself? That would be Cameron Young, who the Seahawks drafted from Mississippi State. And everything we heard from OTAs and these workouts was that he looked pretty decent, that he was as good as advertised. And the idea was that he should be able to step up and be ready to go. At least, now, granted, there's only so much they can do in these off-season programs. But things are headed in the right direction. And I think if you were the Seahawks, if you had a lack of confidence in Cameron Young, you could have already found other options by now for that nose tackle position. But they seem to be confident in Cameron Young. We'll see. But watch out. Nose tackle, I think it's still concerning until we see what actually happens on the football field. But so far at this point, Seahawks coaching staff seems to be pretty confident in Young as far as that goes. Whip your hawk out, bonk bonk, writes, will Derek Hall pass up Boye Mafe on the depth chart? So Derek Hall was an interesting pick. Our own Tom Dowdy, who we love dearly here at Chat Sports, put Derek Hall as a late third-round grade. And I know people get upset when I mention that, but, hey, it was Downey's grade. It wasn't mine. Just telling you what Downey did. Downey had him as a late third-round grade. Seattle obviously picked him early in the second round. And the Seahawks going forward with Derek Hall at that position, you have to think that they see something there if they were willing to, I'll call it this, don't shoot the messenger, but just saying based on what Tom called him, a reach, right? They obviously saw something there. I will say this, though. This would be my counter-argument to the selection that they made at that spot. I liked what I saw from Boye Mafe last year. The film on him, he was doing the little things right. And I was impressed even in the preseason last year. He caught my eye and caught my attention. I think Boye Mafe has potential to be a star in this league as far as I'm concerned. So I don't think Derek Hall will pass up Boye Mafe. I think they'll both play this year. But I personally like Boye Mafe a little bit more than I do Derek Hall as far as what I'm concerned. Weigh in. Who's the better edge? Is it Derek Hall or is it Boye Mafe? Which guy do you like better? Weigh in the comment section. Type D for Derek Hall. Type B for Boye Mafe. And let me know what you think one way or the other. Last question from Wayne. Wayne writes, what is your under-the-radar defensive lineman the Hawks will sign prior to game number 1? A guy that we talked about here on the channel that's been, I think, has caught some attention, and he's, an edge, was Melvin Ingram. We talked about him earlier in the week. The D tackles out there, those options are limited. We told you earlier that Cameron Young is kind of expected to hold things down. One guy that's still out there, and I believe we talked about him earlier in the week, Matt Ioannidis, who previously played with the Carolina Panthers and the Washington Commanders. He's kind of forgotten about. Those are a couple names that I'd keep in mind as far as maybe under the radar that you don't think of right away that could be jumping in and filling those spots. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live. You can find me there, and I'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. All right. Oh! A $50 super chat from John Smith. Bang! John, with a big one,
what
says,
timing!
Just saying hey to Tyler and the Chat Sports folks. Hey, you, John Smith. Hope you had a good summer vacation. What an entrance.
Hey, ya.
Hey. John, what an entrance there. That's how you introduce yourself.
That's how you make a statement. That's how you make a damn statement, Seahawks fans. That's what we're talking about.
That puts us over $100 for the day. John, thanks for checking in. We were talking over. I owe John some prizes that he won a while back. Those will still be in the mail. Sorry, John, I haven't got to send those to you yet, but I promise we'll get those to you. So John and I are actually friends on LinkedIn.
Nice.
John is an awesome guy, great friend of the show, and we appreciate him joining us and being a supporter of this channel and the work that we do here. And $50, I owe a bean already. Are we doing 5 beans, or are we doing?
I'm gonna say if we want, I could always rip a beer bong or something.
How about this? I'll do 2 beans.
Okay.
And then you can do a beer bong.
Okay.
And we'll get to. That's how we'll celebrate the 50.
Boom.
That puts us at 105. Now we're in range with the
knocking on the
49ers
door.
and Cowboys. We're knocking on the door. So I will eat 2 beans, and Trace will do a beer bong, and that's how we will celebrate
I'll go grab the Freedom Funnel.
the $50 super chat from John. John is also $50 away from the Boot Hall of Fame with that coming in. Boot Hall of Fame, every $100 that you send in super chats gets you a spot in the Boot Hall of Fame. We could induct John with another 50 that comes his way. We'll see if we can induct anybody in the Boot Hall of Fame today. Been a minute since we inducted some folks in the Boot Hall of Fame. But John, everybody spam John in the chat. We appreciate him showing some love here on the channel today. John, great guy, big Seahawk fan, great friend of the show. Thanks for stopping in and being here with us. Frankly, what do you mean by that, John? Thanks for letting. Tell me what you think, what you're meaning by that. With that said, time for a couple beans. Toothpaste again, and old bandage again. I already hated these. I know they're bad. I know they are bad.
That's hilarious.
But we'll see if they are what they are. 2 at the same time. Here we go. Oh, I can't get that out of my mouth fast enough. Oh, that's what she said.
Giggity.
Oh, that was bad.
All right, got a Freedom Funnel.
Freedom Funnel for America, for the 12s.
Oh!
John with another 20.
John, you get to pick a word. All right, this one's for you, John.
Okay, John. There's the Freedom Funnel. That's America at its finest right there. John. Good work, John. And now we're at 125. Cold. We tied the 49ers report.
That's cold. Oof.
John with that 20 is 30 away from the Boot Hall of Fame, and we're 25 away from taking down.
Oh, they're rolling in.
Oh yeah, we got to sing the DK song next. Here we go. So let's start with John's 20 that he wrote there. We've tied 49ers. We're coming for Cowboys next. John with a $20 super chat says, I hope we sign Yannick Ngakoue.
Yes.
So that we can hear Tyler try to say his name after a multi-boot Sunday.
Yannick Ngakoue.
That's incredible. John,
funny.
with that $20 super chat, that's the word game. I know John got here a little late, but with that $20 super chat, you get to pick a random word, whatever you're feeling, and I have to work it into this next segment.
Yep.
Into the show one way or the other. The word game, $20 super chat. Choose a word. I'll work it into the segment. John says, imagine if Ngakoue gets a 4th quarterback sack after Tyler's done 2 or 3 boots. That could be something.
That would be interesting.
That's funny.
That's really funny.
Let's party, says Ona. I like that. Dustin says, where can I get the Freedom Funnel?
It's literally at Freedom Funnel. Like
at Freedom Funnel.
Like just Google Freedom Funnel and probably the first link.
Or
Amazon.
Pacific Northwest says Tyler does have problems with his pronunciations after a few shots, doesn't he?
It happens to the best of us.
It does
happen to the best of us.
Ariano wants the DK song. Jumping, carols, jumping, Gino passes, no one stopping. DK, touchdowns all day, he rolls. There you go. Thank you for that one, Adriano. John, let me know the word you choose, and then we'll start this this next segment. His word is fumble. Okay, I can do that. That can be done.
Fumble.
That can be done.
Real quick, though, it's National Dog Party Day.
Jay says I owe a bean still from the mailbag. Okay, I think I do.
Oh,
I
we
do.
Okay.
I'll do another bean. So far, we're 0-4.
0 for 4.
Not ideal, but here we go.
Guys, also, it's National Dog Party Day, so shout out your dog in the comments. Let us know.
Yeah, shout out your dog.
My dog's name is Roscoe. He's a homie. He's a little mutt.
What kind of dog is Roscoe?
I couldn't tell you. He's a mutt.
We mutt?
We got him from a family member who found him in a bag in a field in Houston, Texas. So he's just a mutt.
Okay, I got a brown one. This is either cappuccino or liver with onions.
Oh, no.
Here we go.
Oh, no. For your sake, I hope it's cappuccino.
Oh, I lucked out. It is cappuccino.
Oh, thank you.
Finally!
There we go.
Finally! My bad luck is ended. We have survived in a match. After 4 bad beans. Got to go in there. Wash it down with a happy dad. That's right. John, thanks for your love there and for keeping this party going here on this Wednesday here on Happy Hour Seahawks Today. So we'll do a 53-man roster projection. Shout out your dog in the chat, and I will work in the word fumble into this next mailbag. Who are the dogs, by the way? Shout out your dogs. Let's see. Matthew says mutts are great. So my dog, who I had for years, not trying to make things too sad around here, folks. My dog, Gordon, he passed away last summer. Gordon was the best dog, and he was a Corgi Hound mix.
Oh, that's adorable.
We named him after my favorite NASCAR driver, Jeff Gordon.
I was going to say, is it Jeff Gordon?
We did.
There we go.
Not Josh Gordon, Jeff Gordon. And Gordon was a great dog. I miss him dearly, but my parents got a couple other dogs. My parents' other dogs included, let's see, what are their other dogs' names? Oh, they got a cat named Bruno.
Bruno.
And then the dog, obviously you can tell him, is Sammy.
Love it.
And they named after Sam Bradford.
Oh, that's a good one.
Former NFL quarterback.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Tom says my dog's name is Maximum Cuteness. Let's see. John says for the first time in 20 years, I don't have dogs apart from our creator. Nothing will love you as unconditionally as your dog. Travel too much to have dogs now, sadly. John, you're 100% right. I travel too much personally to have dogs too, but dogs are man's best friend, and they love you more than anything else. That's absolutely right.
All I have to say is cats guard the gates of hell, and dogs are man's best friend.
We got Matthew says Bobo and Bella are my best dogs. Did you name it after Jake Bobo, the Seahawks undrafted free agent wide receiver? Tom says talking about dogs, B-Wags is back. I like that. Zach says my name is Stella. My dog's name is Stella. She is a German Shepherd. Very cool. Shout out to all the dogs out there. 53-man roster projection coming up next. We will tell you what we think the Seahawks roster looks like, and I will work in the word fumble for John in this next segment. Coming up next here on this live edition of Seahawks Today. OTAs are in the books for your Seattle Seahawks. We are here to project the 53-man roster for Seattle in 2023 here on this edition of Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. Before we get to the predictions of the roster, a little survey for the 12s at home. If you think the Seahawks will win the NFC West, go ahead and tickle the like button and like today's video. If not, if you do not think they will win the division, comment and tell me why you don't think they will win the division. So a little survey. Let me know one way or the other. Let's get some good vibes going for the upcoming season. Like today's video if you think they'll win the division. If not, comment and tell me why. So here's what we are doing. I am going over the entire Seahawks roster, and we will give our official projections of how the roster will look when the Seahawks narrow things down to 53. Let me say this one more point before we get into all of this. We did factor in the injuries. So something to think about. There might be some names you're like, hey, that guy should be on there. Well, he's hurt right now, so he wouldn't be on there. We'll get to those in just a moment. Let's start with the quarterbacks. Geno Smith and Drew Lock projected to make the 53-man roster. I think the Seahawks carry those two quarterbacks. No reason why I think that Drew Lock shouldn't make this roster with him knowing this system that's been in place. He's been here over a year. I know we've never seen him in a live regular season game, but the coaching staff has said nothing but positive things as far as Drew Lock goes of what he knows about this offense and everything about it. The backfield for Seattle. I got 5 names. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, DJ Dallas, and Kenny McIntosh are your 4 running backs. Nick Bellore also makes it as the fullback and a linebacker as well, so watch out for Nick Bellore of what he could do there. No real surprises in the backfield. The wide receiver spot for the Seahawks, after the first 3 receivers, after Metcalf, Lockett, and Smith and Jigba, then it gets really competitive to see who can make the roster from that point forward. And I think that there's a couple of these guys that could still stick around potentially on the practice squad, but it is going to be a battle to make this roster for a very competitive receiving room after those top 3. Young and Eskridge, I have sliding in for those final spots. A lot of pressure on D. Eskridge entering 2023 to see if he can finally have a breakthrough season. Name a player that won't make the 53-man roster for the Seahawks. Who's going to be on the outside looking in that won't be on the roster when the season begins in 2023? That's our pinned comment today. You might get an ad break. If so, take advantage of it and name one player that won't make the roster for Seattle when the season begins. The tight end position is pretty predictable. Will Dissly, Noah Fant, Colby Parkinson, all should be on that roster when the season begins. No real concerns or issues with any of those 3 for this year as far as that goes. When you go to the offensive line, though, I got 10 names that I have making this roster. They include Charles Cross, Damian Lewis, Olu, Phil Haynes, Abraham Lucas, Bradford Brown, Big Stone. I got Jake and Greg as well. I got those 10 guys making the roster. Now, the more enticing thing for me is not necessarily who makes the roster for the offensive line, but who starts when the season begins on the offensive line. I think Olu's got a chance to start. I think Anthony Bradford's going to be competitive for playing time. To me, that's the more intriguing battle with this O-line as far as who gets the playing time as opposed to who makes the roster. We have a pretty good idea of who those 10 will be. On the D-line for Seattle, Brian Monet injured. That's why we don't have him included on the 53-man list. But what we do have, though, is Jaron Reed, Draymond Jones, Miles Adams, Cameron Young, Mike Morris, and Mario Edwards making that list. That would mean that Cameron Young would be your starter to open up the season at that nose tackle spot with Monet hurt at this point in time. More positions to get to in just a moment on the defense. Also got special teams as well. Name a player the Seahawks should keep on the 53-man roster. Who is a guy that maybe we're not so sure about is going to make the roster or not? Weigh in the comments section and tell me who should make the roster for Seattle when it's all said and done. Give me one player that you think should make it for the Seahawks. Edge rushers, it is very competitive. A loaded bunch, some young cats, a competition for playing time. 5 guys, Darrell Taylor, Uchenna and Nwosu, Boye Mafe, Derek Hall, and Tyreek Smith. And you talk about turnover for this Seahawks team. This position looks a lot different for the Seahawks than it did just a couple years ago. And it's going to be fascinating to see when it comes to playing time. How much can Boye Mafe and Derek Hall compete for that playing time amongst each other? How does that go down in these off-season activities and training camp and everything? Who's going to win that playing time as a rotational piece? Watch out. We'll see what they do there. Inside linebackers. Here's another note. Let me make this very clear so we don't confuse the folks at home. Jordyn Brooks, injured. We don't know the timetable of his return. So we'll go with what we know right now. We'll put Vi Jones in that spot for now, along with John Radigan, Devin Bush, and Bobby Wagner as the guys making the list from the inside linebacker position. Also worth noting, Nick Bellore, who we had listed as a fullback earlier, can play some inside linebacker as well. He would be included among this group as well for that 53-man roster number as well. To the corner position now. That's where we find Tariq Woolen, Devin Witherspoon, Trey Brown, Mike Jackson, and Kobe Bryant. And kind of like what we talked about with some of the other positions for the Seattle Seahawks, this, for me, is a lot about the playing time as opposed to who necessarily makes it, right? I think, all feel pretty good that these five are going to be there. Trey Brown might be the guy that's kind of borderline of sorts, but we've seen flashes from Trey Brown in the past. Mike Jackson's been arguably the MVP of offseason activities, according to Pete Carroll. Kobe Bryant, I know all the attention was on Tariq Woolen last year with the 6 interceptions he had and being in the Pro Bowl and all that. Kobe Bryant was still pretty good as a rookie. He'll probably be your starting nickel corner. Devin Witherspoon, you spent the number 5 overall pick on. Woolen's going to be fantastic. Woolen, we've heard as far as the injury goes, should be able to get in the mix and be able to go as training camp gets along. So watch out. This cornerback room, I think it'll be very good for the Seahawks as far as I'm concerned. Will Trey Brown make the Seahawks 53-man roster? I think he will. What say you, though? Is he going to make the final roster when it's all said and done? Why for yes, in for no? Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think one way or the other. Will Trey Brown make the final roster for the Seahawks or not? Why for yes, in for no? The safety position, as good as any group in the National Football League at this point in time. And Jamal Adams, Quandre Diggs, Julian Love, a dynamic trio. I think they're all going to see playing time, and you're going to see the 3 high safety looks at times and a lot of flexibility. We talked about on the channel this week the idea of Jamal Adams in like a Troy Polamalu role of sorts where he kind of just gets to fly around and do his own thing. He is going to be a disruptor. Expect him to create a lot of fumbles and turnovers and doing his thing of just, being a guy that just is a floater of sorts, if you will. Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. That's going to be Jamal Adams' job. Quandre Diggs is going to be fantastic. Julian Love, I'm excited about. Also, Jarek Reed is going to be interesting as well. The Seahawks picked him late in day 3. He impressed in the offseason program. This is going to be fun to see what the safeties do together. Lastly, the special teams group. Pretty good special teams group as far as I'm concerned. Jason Myers, Michael Dixon, your kickers and punter. And then Chris Stoll is going to hold things down as the long snapper for the Seahawks and be the guy that's, operating that operation there on a special team. So that is the complete roster. I love where this team is headed, what they are building with Pete Carroll and John Schneider, what they've done to retool this thing over the last couple of years. It hasn't been a rebuild in Seattle. It has been a reload for this organization the last few years. How would you grade the Seahawks roster? What do you think of Seattle heading into 2023? Give me your grade. A, B, C, D, or F. How would you grade this roster for the Seahawks? Chime in and let me know in the comments section. Hit me up on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Tyler Jones Live, talking about your Seattle Seahawks there, and we'll see you next time, right here on Seahawks Today. All right. So that's 3 segments down. And we have one more segment to go. Another Q&A mailbag on the way. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get on the Q&A mailbag. Let's see. What else is everybody saying in the chat? Matthew says Tariq Woolen was robbed of being Defensive Rookie of the Year. He used the hashtag Seahawks, so we'll answer that in the mailbag segment. Ilona says Woolen was amazing with 6 interceptions. He was. Matthew says, wish you could have kept Ryan Neal. I know. I liked Ryan Neal. PFF had him as the highest graded safety in the entire league last year. John Smith says, anyone remember when the backup center just did the long snapping? That was a long time ago. Ilona says, I know it was sad. Tom says, roster is an A. John Smith says, I'd give them an A if we had a better nose tackle. I'll give them a B. Ilona says A+. Georgie said, did he say fumble? Trace, I did say fumble.
He said it. He said it when he was talking about Jamal Adams.
Snuck it in there.
If you heard it, you heard it. If you didn't, you didn't.
I am a man of my word. The $20 super chat from John, and I did sneak in fumble in there talking about Jamal Adams. So one more Q&A to get to. Let's show that super chat before we get to this final segment here. Any super chat equals shout out. $5, we'll do the DK song. $7, we'll do a Geno shot. $10, we'll get Bean Boozled. I've had a bad draw as of late. Well, I say that. I got cappuccino last time. $10 and then $20 for a final segment is the word game. You give me any word for $20, I will work it into this segment. And if you were listening closely, I worked it in talking about Jamal Adams, the word fumble last time. So let's see if you guys got any words for me. John, you're $30 away from the Boot Hall of Fame. And we got some others that have sent in some super chats throughout the day that have made this a hell of a time. And we passed up the 49ers report in super chats. We are now, about $22 away from beating Cowboys? Okay. So here is the updated tally, the scoreboard as it stands, folks, in our competition today between 49ers and Cowboys. We've passed up the Niners. We've already won that. Now's our chance to win the NFC. Seahawks fans, can we beat the Cowboys report and have the best fans in the National Football League? In the NFC, can we win the NFC Championship today? $22, and we win the NFC Championship. That's how close we are, folks. So that's what the Super Chat battle looks like so far at this point. Q&A mailbag time. Hashtag Seahawks or Super Chat to get your questions in the mailbag. And Trace, we can still use some more questions, right? Okay. We need some more questions. If you think of something as we're going along in the mailbag segment, then go ahead and send it in. Ilona, I've seen you chatting it up, and we appreciate that, but I would love to hear from you in the mailbag. Use that hashtag Seahawks, and we can answer whatever you got. Oh! John says, F the Cowboys. F the Cowboys.
F the Cowboys. F the Cowboys.
Oh, I love it, John.
You know, I'll never forget.
And that puts John in the Boot Hall of Fame.
I'll never forget the Cowboys versus Seahawks playoff game where Tony Romo fumbled the extra point or the field goal or whatever to give the Seahawks the win. Never forget it.
I feel like I need to write, so I'm going to write John's name on here, and we're going to induct him in the Hall of Fame. But I'm going to write F the Cowboys, too.
Yeah, for sure.
This needs to be a moment to remember for the end of time. F the Cowboys. When we took down the Cowboys and we laid our claim to them.
Oh, yeah.
Cowboys, Tony Romo fumbling that snap, that was a terrific moment that he will never live down. And quite frankly, that was probably the highlight of Tony Romo's career.
Probably.
All right, John, welcome to the Boot Hall of Fame. Welcome back to the Boot Hall of Fame. F the Cowboys. Congrats to the 12s on winning the Super Chat battle today.
Woo!
And, John, they can't take this away from you. This is your Hall of Fame moment. You're not getting the Reggie Bush treatment. This is all about you. So, John, congratulations. You are the newest member of the Boot Hall of Fame. And right there, F the Cowboys.
F the Cowboys.
F the Cowboys, indeed. That is terrific. Congratulations, John. F the Cowboys. You are there. You are inducted in the Boot Hall of Fame. $100, and you, too, could be inducted in the Boot Hall of Fame. We are now at the point now we reach $160 where we start to do some negotiating now.
Oh, yeah.
How about this? Here's what I'm willing to offer, Trace. You did the Freedom Funnel earlier.
Okay.
I don't know if I've ever done a Freedom Funnel.
I think you need a Freedom Funnel.
I think if we get to 200, I'll do a Freedom Funnel.
I think you need a Freedom Funnel.
I feel like, with the 4th of July is almost here. I love America. America's the greatest country on earth. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I feel like it would be my patriotic duty if I did a Freedom Funnel. $40. We get $40 before the end of the show, then I'm doing a Freedom Funnel too. There it is. God bless the USA.
We're kissing bald eagles because we love America. Mwah.
Mailbag time. John makes a good point. The way they fired Tom Landry, never get over it. Yeah. You can thank Jerry Jones for that. That was all on Jerry. Tom has a great idea. He's using hashtag Seahawks for the super chat, for the mailbag. Hashtag Seahawks or super chat, and you too will get on the mailbag. And we will open up the mailbag with John's super chat that said F the Cowboys. We'll show him some love right off the top of the mailbag. When we get to that coming up next. There's the super chat menu. Next $40 that comes in, I'm going to do a Freedom Funnel for America for the 12s out there. That's what we'll offer coming up in our final segment. Hashtag Seahawks or a super chat to get your questions in for our mailbag that we'll do next. Trace, yes? All right. We're all set. We're good to go. Here we go on this mailbag time. Final segment next. It is Seahawks Today by Chat Sports. Tyler Jones here. Thanks for joining us. Coming up on today's show, we will answer your questions, a part of our live mailbag that we do each and every Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. You guys send us questions using the hashtag Seahawks or super chatting. We answer them in real time. We have a lot of fun doing it. Let's start off with a $30 super chat from John Smith that says, F the Cowboys. I agree. F the Cowboys. F the Cowboys. F the Cowboys. Take that, Cowgirls. Yes, I agree. Any day is a good day when the Cowboys lose, especially the way Tony Romo lost in the playoffs several years ago. That was a great day. John, salute to you. Thanks for the $30 super chat there. F the Cowboys indeed. Matthew writes in, Tariq Woolen was robbed of being Defensive Rookie of the Year. If only he was a first-round pick. John, or Matthew, rather. Thank you, Matthew. John, thanks for the super chat earlier. Matthew, I understand the frustration. Trust me, Tariq Woolen was fantastic. But let me tell you this, okay? I'm not saying I agree with this. I'm just letting you know the case that was made by the experts, okay? The experts said that Tariq Woolen, according to the numbers they put out from Pro Football Focus and such, was giving up too many big plays at times. Although he was getting the interceptions, he was giving up a lot as well. And I think PFF ended up ranking him like somewhere between 30 and 40 among the top corners in the league. Again, I'm not saying they're right in what they did. I'm just telling you what the case was that held him back. Personally, I thought he was better than what the numbers PFF gave him. But you know what? We move on. We go forward from here, and a lot of reason to be optimistic and excited to see what Tariq Woolen does going forward. I'm not losing sleep over a Rookie of the Year award or not. He's going to be great. He's going to be good for a long time. There's plenty of more awards in his future as far as I'm concerned. Seattle Fanatic says, are the Seahawks really going to be a run-first team? Well, that's what Pete Carroll would like you to think. And you look at the backfield for Seattle, Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, Kenny McIntosh, what they've invested in sounds like a run-first team. But you look at the receivers the Seahawks have, what Geno Smith proved that he can do throwing the football and how well he did as a deep passer in 2022. One of the best deep ball throwers in the entire league last year. I'll say this. The Seahawks might think they're a run-first team. But there's going to be times where you get in a shootout with some teams, and you're going to have to pass the football. And I think the offense at times can be more effective by being a pass-first team. I think it all depends on the matchups that you see. Look, it doesn't take a genius to point to that in today's NFL, you got to have a balanced approach. You have to run the football well, and you have to pass the football well. I know it sounds simple, but trust me, some of these teams, it's easier said than done, struggle with one or the other. And we've seen teams kind of get away from running the football when they shouldn't. So I know that's a long answer, but let me just say this. It's all situational. It all depends on the matchup. I think more times than not, they would be run-heavy as opposed to pass-heavy, but it all depends on the matchup. So with that, who will be the Seahawks offensive MVP this year? Is it Geno? Is it Kenneth Walker? Is it somebody else? Who is going to be the guy that leads the way for this Seahawks offense? And to me, that might determine how the direction of the offense goes is who's the best player in the football field. If Geno's the best player, then you're going to pass the ball more. If Kenneth Walker's the best player, you'll run the ball more. Sound off in the comments section and tell me who you believe will be the offensive MVP for Seattle in 2023. Subscribe to the channel. You're seeing this mailbag right now. You're sitting at home watching it, and you're saying, man, I would love to hear what Tyler has to say. These are some pretty good questions that people are asking. How can I get my questions in? Well, you too can be a part of our mailbag on Wednesday, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Go ahead and block out your calendar. You're not doing anything anyway. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on notifications. Join us for the live show. You can get your questions in. Send in a super chat, if you will, and you can be like John and say F the Cowboys, or just get your questions in and we can talk football, talk shop, whatever you're feeling. Subscribe and be a part of our mailbags. Turn on notifications, youtube.com/Seahawks TV to be a part. B&W Family says, where are the Seahawks on your power rankings? Well, glad you asked. So we do a power ranking here at Chat Sports. And we did power rankings sometime post-draft. It was, I think, about a month or two ago. And I believe that I had the Seahawks around 6th or 7th in the NFL in my power rankings. And I think that with a couple moves in particular, if you help the interior of the defensive line, you can move up even further. The AFC is a juggernaut. The NFC, not so much. I think the Seahawks can be in the class with the Niners and the Eagles, but there's still more work to be done. Right now, they are in that tier with the Cowboys, F the Cowboys, with the Giants, those type of teams. The Lions, but they can still jump up. There's still more work. They can improve, but they're in that next tier right now. I think they're about 6th or 7th best in the league. Charlie writes in, Bobby was really good with the Rams. Can he be the same player he was when he was here the first time? So it's fascinating, Charlie, you bring this up because I think that's one thing that when the Seahawks moved on from Bobby Wagner, and remember when he said that he took offense to being let go and how he was treated, he took that personal and all the backlash. Bobby spoke publicly about, when he left to the Los Angeles Rams that he had something to prove and all of that, right? Well, then he went out and had a terrific year with the Los Angeles Rams, was still one of the best inside linebackers in the entire league. I think PFF rated him as the best inside linebacker in the NFL last year. And so he was really good. New system, new team, change of scenery, didn't slow down Bobby Wagner at all. Okay? And I think one of the things of why, besides just financially, of why the Seahawks moved on from Bobby Wagner was as they were going into this next phase, you wondered how many years did Bobby Wagner actually have left to play at a high level. He proved a lot of people, including within the Seahawks organization, wrong last year that he is still playing great, that he is still something left. I think there's no reason to believe that if he stays healthy, he won't be one of the best in the NFL, that he'll have another fantastic year. I think he can continue to be the same player he's been his entire career. Is Bobby Wagner the Seahawks' best defensive player in 2023? Or is it Tariq Woolen? Or is it somebody else on this Seahawks team? Weigh in the comment section. Tell me what you think one way or the other. Why for yes, in for no. Is Bobby the Seahawks' best defensive player in 2023? Chime in the comment section. Let me know one way or the other. Why for yes, in for no. The Seahawks shirt and hat combination is back on sale now for a limited time while supplies last. $23.99 is the price. This is a steal. I tell you what, folks. The shirt looks good. The hat looks good. And you can get them both. That's a fantastic deal. And wear them during the summertime. Maybe when you go out to Lumen Field this football season, you're going to be looking great. Rocking out with your hawk out and just enjoying yourself and having a great time. What are you waiting for? Go ahead and get this shirt and hat combination now while supplies last. Only for a limited time. Not going to be around forever. Chatsports.com/12 combo is where you can get it. It's in the comments in the description of today's video. Check it out. You'll be glad you did. Chatsports.com/12 combo. All right, time for about another question or two. This one from Ilona. Very loyal watcher to Seahawks today. Glad that Ilona made it on the mailbag. Says, hopefully this season will be amazing. Better than last year overall. I'm excited. You should be excited, Ilona. There's a lot of reason to be optimistic about this Seahawks team. Coming off a year where they made the playoffs last year, last seed in the NFC, and I think you'll see this team take another step up in improve, and that this organization is headed in the right direction, and reason to be excited about what they'll do this upcoming year. I'll say this, barring injuries, I think you're going to be very happy with the result of what this Seahawks team is about to put together on the football field and where they've invested, where they've improved. There's reason to be excited here. You'll like what you'll see. Last question from Tom wants to know, how likely is it we pick up a veteran nose tackle, the 53-man cut? We'll see. Very well. I think it could happen. Brian Monet's injury, I think, makes that more likely to happen. But we'll wait around. Also depends on kind of who's available at that point to be that nose tackle. It's still a waiting game. I think it's possible. And you need more depth. You need some other potential options. Could happen. We'll see. I think it's very possible. How likely? I put it at a greater than 50% chance that they go look and add somebody. I don't know who, but somebody? Yeah, greater than 50%. Thanks, Tom, for the question there. Hit me up on social media, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook as well. Zuck and Elon and the entire gang. I'm talking to those guys and talking to you, most importantly, the 12s of those platforms. I'll see you next time here on Seahawks Today. There we go. We are through all of our segments on today's show. So we asked you, is Bobby Wagner the best Seahawks defensive player? Matthew said yes. Ilona said yes. What else? What do you guys think? Is Bobby Wagner the Seahawks' best defensive player? As producer Trace rejoins me right now. Trace, Bobby coming back, I mean, I have no reason to believe that he's going to slow down in 2023.
No, not at all. I mean, he's joining a system he once was a part of that he's very familiar with. So I think that he's going to come back. He's going to be a phenomenal football player as he normally is, and I think the Seahawks defense will benefit greatly from having Bobby Wagner back.
King says yes. Okay. So the consensus is that he is that guy. He is that dude. John says yes, but it's close. Lots of talent. Ilona says yes, he is. Let's go. Very good. Good stuff from the chat today. A lot of fun for sure. All right, so we're through all our segments. The offer still stands. Let's show the Super Chat menu. $40, and I will do the Freedom Funnel. John said, hell yes, America. Now let's see if you can come through. Let's start off
America.
The early 4th of July celebrations. We're still a couple weeks away, but we can still celebrate our independence and how great of a country we have here in America and take down the Freedom Funnel. $40 and the Freedom Funnel happens. Any Super Chat equals a shout-out. $5 the DK song. $7 will do a Geno shot. $10 will get Bean Boozled. I've had some good ones. I've had some very bad ones today. We can keep it going. Trace could do a bean next.
I could. Could do a bean.
Next bean goes to Trace for $10. Get his reaction. And then $20. We've gone through our segments. Can't really do the word game yet, but we can find a way to honor a $20 Super Chat. Don't worry about that. So, Trace, I'm going to put, let's go a minute on the clock.
Let's do it.
1 minute.
1 minute remaining.
We get a Super Chat this next minute. We stay live, keep the party going, have a good time. If not, we sign off, we call it a day, and Trace gets ready for his wedding that he's off to tomorrow, and I get ready to head off Nashville this weekend.
Boom.
So, are you in this wedding?
I am. I am a groomsman in this wedding, so fun shall be had.
Has the bachelor party already happened?
So, the guy who was supposed to plan it just dropped the ball.
Oh.
So we had a makeshift bachelor party a couple weeks ago where we all just got together down here and just went out to the bars and stuff because, he dropped the ball. So unfortunately, it wasn't a crazy bachelor party, but we had a lot of fun. We went to Fort Worth with the Stockyards.
There you go.
Had some fun out there. Went to a concert out there. It was a good time. We still had a lot of fun.
I like it.
Bachelor parties are a lot of fun.
I love a good bachelor party.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard to beat a good time on a bachelor party. No girls allowed. It's great. No moms. Actually, moms are encouraged. Moms are encouraged.
Bros before hoes, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Pals before gals. Homies before domies. I don't know.
Wade says, have fun in Asheville. I will. Trace is headed to Northwest Arkansas. For the Seahawks fans and our people in the Pacific Northwest that may not know, Northwest Arkansas, one of the more underrated places in the country.
Very.
And not just a good place to like live for its economic value and how scenic it is and everything. Like, it's actually a cool spot to spend the weekend.
For sure. Good hiking, some good fishing, good lakes, rivers and stuff. Very pretty area. A lot of like beautiful hills and mountains and stuff. The Ozarks are a very slept-on part of the country. So if you haven't been out there, not even Northwest Arkansas, but up in Missouri too, there's some very beautiful areas in the Ozarks. Dudes before prudes. That's genius. Might have to make that my Instagram caption after the weekend.
All right. Didn't see any super chats come through. We'll wait a minute because YouTube takes a minute to process. But in the meantime, we will get ready to sign off. John says Arkansas is really, really pretty.
Facts.
Subscribe to the channel. We had a fun time today. Trace and I, always a pleasure when we get together and have a good time. We hang out with the 12s. If you can't contribute super chat wise or whatever, the easiest thing that you can do that doesn't cost you a thing is just by subscribing to the channel. Absolutely free. Helps grow this channel so we can bring you more Seahawks content for free as we do each and every day here on Seahawks Today. Got more stuff coming up throughout the next couple days. We'll bring you our segments as always. And if news breaks, even if I'm in Nashville, and this happened to me when I've been out of town before, if news breaks while I'm out of town, doesn't matter. Still going to bring you a video here on the channel because we're built different around here. So you guys deserve it. We'll sign off. For Trace Gerard, I'm Tyler Jones. Thanks for joining us. Have a great rest of your week.